Hi, I'm Nick with Calibrated Power Solutions. We're here with Chris Emke to discuss Cummins upgrades, and this is the final video on how far we're going to take it. This is the Stage 3 video. This is for big boy mods. So we already talked about the 600 to 700 horsepower level in our Stage 2 video. We talked about the 400 to 500 horsepower level or thereabouts in the Stage 1. So this is Stage 3. You got a lot of money invested in this truck. You're putting some power to the ground by now.
One of the biggest questions customers ask is, I want big power, 700 plus.
Who doesn't?
Bragging rights, nice street truck, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
What is it going to take to get there? We brushed up on our Stage 1 package, the Stage 2 package. So for this particular Stage 3 package, we would need all of those supporting mods from the prior videos.
That's a good point. If you're going to call and ask about 700 plus horsepower, and please at least be driving a 500 or 600 horsepower truck.
Exactly.
That way you have the foundation built, you know what to expect out of the truck. It doesn't come and blindside you going from 350 horse to 700 horse, because it's a big jump and it's a lot to learn.
It's a different animal altogether, especially driving a vehicle like that on the street. Getting into the modifications as far as that goes, you already have a turbocharger upgrade, you already have an injection pump upgrade, a transmission, the supporting mods from there. What's going to be needed to go 700 plus? Well, depending on what injector combination and injection pump combination you went with.
So there's two ways, I see what you're saying. There's two ways to look at it. And really there is, what parts do I already have and how can I most efficiently get over 700 horsepower, which we have to deal with a lot, and it's the harder part of the job. Or there's I want to make 750 horsepower and I know what I want to use my truck for. Tell me what pump, injectors, and turbocharger I need, and that is that is the easiest customer to work with, because we can deliver that. Exactly what you want.
So let's say we have a customer, they went with something along the lines of what we had in our Stage 2 package. They're looking to build off of that. They want to make a nice driving truck. They can still use it for what the vehicle was, designed for.
Yeah, towing, street driving.
The biggest thing I'm going to recommend right off the bat is going to be a twin turbo kit to add on to the existing turbocharger that you have on the vehicle. It can support 750 plus.
We've proven that.
Depending on what atmospheric unit, what secondary unit we end up running on the truck.
Yeah, so that's a good point. You mentioned the compound turbochargers. You mentioned the versatility of the sizing of the turbochargers depending on horsepower level. Why did you mention compounds and not jump to a big single?
It's more common to have a guy driving a truck on the street that are still using the vehicle for towing, still using the vehicle for their weekend warrior. They're not using it for competition use. So those vehicles on the street need to be responsive down low. They want to be able to support the power up top, and you will be able to deliver that type of power in a compound application.
Yeah, so I think in a sentence it's the width of the power band.
Correct.
The truck is much more drivable with a compound setup. So if you're in a competition scenario where you're limited by inducer size or by class rules or that sort of thing, that's kind of a separate customer.
Of course,
It's kind of a separate scenario. We size turbocharging, and we can do that, but it's a different deal.
Correct.
If you're using the truck and you're driving on the street and you want to just have a monster and you're calling us for that, awesome. Let's talk compounds, because that's the most fun to drive. That's the most usable setup. So our CPS compound kit for the Cummins. Tell me about that.
If we did the Stealth 64 over a Borg-Warner S480 in our twin turbo kit, that turbo kit can support 800, 850 plus, depending on the injection pump and injector size that we go with.
Of course, so you're quoting horsepower numbers based on airflow.
Correct.
And that assumes that you have the 10 mil pump and the 60% injectors,
that is correct.
Or the 100% injectors, or whatever you need to get there. So the compound kit, I have a lot of experience driving the truck with a compound kit. We drag raced our 5.9 for quite a while with the compound kit, on 35-inch tires with a 10 mil pump and 100% injectors. That truck went consistent 1140s at over 120 miles an hour on 35-inch tires.
And 410 gears.
Yeah, we towed with it. It was just a sweet setup to drive and have fun with. If you want to go more than that, let's say you want to go
more than that, upgrading the secondary turbocharger, so the smaller turbo in the compound kit, that's where the Stealth 64 is really going to shine to, up that power number significantly.
So getting around that choke in the secondary, and that can be the Stealth 64, that can be, if you already have an S300 or something like that, we can work around that.
Correct.
And we can, of course, size the primary and the exhaust housing on the primary to make that big number.
That's just a phone call away. We'd be more than happy to help with any of those questions.
Awesome. So if you got questions on making over 700 horsepower, you want to be, bounce it off us, talk about, how the truck's going to run, how it's going to drive. We've test driven, we've dynoed, we have been in it for years. I can tell you exactly what you're going to get out of a truck with a certain fuel system and a certain turbocharger setup in Silk and Chris here. So give us a buzz, Calibrated Power Solutions, 815-568-7920. I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
Thanks for watching.